And I think that's what makes us so unique, is that we can take one thing that we've been given and give it to someone else, and it keeps rippling in throughout our communities.
Every week we hit the road to tell the stories of the people, places, and events that make Hunt County great. These are our friends and our neighbors telling their own stories in their own words. Stories worth knowing and sharing. These are the stories that make us proud to call this place home. And around every corner, we find something else that makes us want to celebrate Hunt County. This program would not be possible without the support of our generous sponsors. Thank you.
Hunt County has kind of been a homecoming for me. My parents were Salvation Army officers, and they were actually stationed, what they call stationed or appointed, to Greenville from 76 to 80. I have an older brother, he's 5 years older than me, and my parents were really great with us in that they allowed us to be as involved, or as little to an extent, involved as we wanted to be. They were just good people, you know, and so it showed us what that kind of life could be like. And on my mother's side, we are 6th generation, and it was all through the women. So my mom, her mom, and so forth, for 6 generations have been Salvation Army officers. And so that kind of led me into seeing that aspect of life, of being of service to others, and the potential that comes from that, the connection that comes from that. It's just where I fit, and that's what I love. I love being right there with them, being a part of their lives, seeing them from one point to another. And like everybody else, with COVID-19, you have to adjust. You still want to be able to provide the services that you're used to providing, but you have to do it kind of in a little bit of a different way. And so we decided to do the drive-through get food giveaways. So we did up bags for each section, and then we had them out on the tables, and then we had 2 other volunteers that they made sure our tables were ready set at all times, and they were nice and full. And so that way, when a vehicle pulled up, he took 2 bags, I took 2 bags. We were able to give them to the individuals, wish them a blessing, and then they were able to move on about their day. You know, in the Bible, Jesus talks in parables a lot, and one of them that he does in multiple ways is the lost coin or the lost sheep. And the volunteer staff and I have been talking this week about our ones, and that being that one person. You know, we may serve, like on Saturday, we serviced 103 families. There always seems to be that one that stands out to you. We had a couple that came to us when we were doing financial assistance, and they needed help with their rent. Of everyone we were able to help during that time period, we got 1 card saying thank you. And it was because they just needed that little bit of extra step up for that moment. And now he's employed, they're doing really well, they're financially stable. And last week they came in and made a donation and said we'll be back with the same amount every month, because they want to make sure that the next time somebody else needs that, they get the help that they need. And it's those ones, that's what drives you. And that's what you do it for. You know, you're there every day, you're serving every day, and because you know that there is someone who really truly needs it, and this is going to be the step that they need for that next part of their journey, or it's more than just a Band-Aid at the moment. It really is truly the fix that they need to get them to the next place that they need to go. I think it goes back to finding your niche. What's your enjoyment? And then how do you make that a part of your personal ministry in the world? That whole idea of, I want to give back. And I think that's what makes us so unique as humans in the grand scheme of God's creation, is that we can take one thing that we've been given and give it to someone else, and it keeps rippling in throughout our communities. I am Cynthia Ard, and I celebrate Hunt County.
If you liked this story, help us celebrate by sharing it with your friends and family. Our stories appear on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and cable TV on Juice 34. You can also find us online at celebratehuntcounty.com. If you'd like to suggest someone to feature in our program, email your idea to stories@celebratehuntcounty.com. We also want to thank our sponsors for making our storytelling possible. We hope you'll support the hometown businesses that keep Hunt County strong.
We've had damage, like the ceiling has collapsed. Our friends put together a fundraiser through Facebook. This local roofing company reached out to us. We'll never be able to say thank you in a manner that is appropriate.